Well, hello, it's Owen here, Chair of Awesomeness, here in the great city of Brisbane, Australia, mid-April 2011, still raining. I thought I would try to change a memory live on camera. So this is one of the ways that you can change a memory. It's one of the ways that I can help you change a memory if you want to change a memory. Why might you want to change a memory? Because it's really painful. So I'm going to try and do one right in front of your very eyes. This is a memory that I have. It's from when I was at primary school. So I was how old? I was 8 years old, 9 years old probably. So, 30 years ago, more than 30 years ago. I'm not at primary school anymore. I've got this memory. So this memory is about me feeling guilty. And what happened was I was nice to this girl. Her name was Sharon. And I was nice to her because I wanted her chocolate eclair. Yum, 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 yum. And I got a memory of being really nice to her because she had a chocolate eclair and I didn't. It was between classes, tuck shop, the break, recess. And she had a chocolate eclair and I don't think she'd taken a bite out of it yet. And I wanted it. And somehow I persuaded her to give me her chocolate eclair. And I ate it. And it was delicious, as I recall. And I feel guilty about this because I feel guilty about, I have a sense of manipulation, so I manipulated her. Now, she's not here. And every memory is a fantasy anyway, right? Because it's not real. But nonetheless, I have this memory. So this is how you do it. I want to change this memory. Why do I want to change it? Because I feel guilty about it. And the reason I'm thinking about this memory now is that something happened in the last little while that has reminded me of this. And this is what happens. Stuff happens now that reminds us of stuff that happened back then. And we go, oh, I can remember that. Oh, I feel like crap. Oh. So that's yours. And if you don't want it inside you, you've got to do something to get rid of it. And the reason that it's painful is that you know how to do it. And I know how to do this. How do I know how to do it? Because I have this memory. The memory is a reference, or the memory is a proof. So how do I change it? First thing to do, I'm going to give commentary as I do this so that you see how to do this. The first thing to do is that I have to go back. I have to go inside and I have to go back. And here's the easiest way to do this is to close your eyes. It's pretty boring, right? So you take a deep breath. And you'll notice that I will start to speak differently and I'll start to appear differently. And this is because I've had quite a bit of practice at doing this. So what you do is you just go back and you remember it. And so I'm going to close my eyes, I'm going to remember it, I'm going to try and bring back the memory, and I'm going to try and replay the memory and make the feeling in my body really strong. This is how we know things are real. Deep breath. Alright, so that's really strong right now. And the way we do this is we rate it from 0 to 10, where 0 is a weak feeling and 10 is a strong feeling, and we make it as strong as we can. And I can get that to about an 8, and I don't want it. Now I've done this a bit. God. Every time I do this, this is so weird. It looks weird and it feels weird. but it works. Deep breath. All right, so what just happened? So that's a shallow trance, actually, right? That's like a daydream or a fantasy. Anytime that you're not dealing with the here and now and stuff's happening, like if you're thinking about something that happened yesterday, if you're thinking about something that happened 30 years ago, if you're worried, if you're planning what you're going to do tomorrow, if you're worried about what's going to happen next week, they're all trances to some extent, right? It's a shallow trance. It's not a deep trance. There are very many layers of trance. But the idea is that you go back, you rebuild the trance, and then you steal it. So you've got to be a trance thief. If you know what a train robber does, a train robber robs trains, a bank robber robs banks. To change memories, you've got to be a trance robber. You've got to steal the trance. You've got to steal your own trance. Because what happens is it's a conditioned emotional response, and you think about this, and then you'll go into the flashback, and your body will flash back to whatever physiology you did at the time, your body will do now, and that's what you want, because then you want to disturb that. And when you break that link, you'll find that you can't do it anymore. So this is great, because I've been talking to you, so I've brought myself back to the here and now. I'm out of the trance, but now you've got to do it again. You've got to go back. You've got to check, right? You do this over and over again. So here we go. Deep breath. Right, so I got that to about a 6. So what you do is, it doesn't matter what you do. I like to tap. It doesn't matter what you do. It doesn't matter where you tap. What I like about tapping is that it forces you to come back to here and now, because this gives the body a new safe experience in the present. The body, the mind-body thing, must attend to this, because this is kind of a threat. You've got something banging on your head, so that the mind-body goes, oh, what's tapping on my head? And you bring back to now, and then you realise, oh, I'm just tapping on my head, everything's cool, everything's safe. So that's the way I do it. There's lots of ways to do it. So you take a deep breath. Oh, man. Here we go again. Deep breath. Ah, God. This is really curious to notice yourself. I've done this a lot. The trick is, always find the thing which makes the feeling the strongest. There's always something which makes the feeling the strongest. And it's either a remembered image, or it's a remembered sound, or it's a remembered feeling in the body. Could be a remembered smell. There's always some. This is like one of the supports, one of the foundations. This is how it's organized inside your head. So in this particular case, with Sharon and the chocolate eclair, the thing which makes this the strongest for me is, alright, so I have an image, I have a remembered image. I'm eating the chocolate eclair, yum, and I'm looking at Sharon's face. And to me that makes the feeling the strongest. So here's what you do. You bring that and you put all of your awareness into whatever the strongest is. That's what I'll do. Man. You think this gets easier? The common question is, when will this end? Yeah, will this ever end? No, it never ends. As long as you're alive and you breathe in and out, it never ends. Alright, so let's see if we can do this again. So how many times have I done that? 3 or 4? I can't remember. Let's try again. So that's less. It's not as strong. Man. So that's not as strong. That's about a 3 or a 4 now. And what you'll find is, what often happens is you'll knock down one image or part of the memory, and then it'll flip. Something will happen and something else will come up strong. It'll be different. It'll be something else in the same memory, or you might flip to a different memory. In this case, it's the same memory. So I've flicked forward in time a little bit, so now I've finished the chocolate eclair. So something's changed, right? I probably can't get back that initial 8 when I'm eating the chocolate eclair and I'm looking at, and I have this memory of Sharon's face. Now remember, this is all a fantasy. This is a complete fantasy. This is a fantasy that I'm generating now. It's not real. I'm pretty sure it happened 30 years ago. Can I prove it? No. Anyway, I'm just going to check. And you can see that it's taken me a while to come out, but that's at about a level of a 3. So that's all I'll do for now. That's just to show you how this happens. And the other thing you can do, if it's at a very low level, you can just directly experience whatever the feeling is. Just directly experience it. And if you directly experience it and fully accept that you're experiencing that, and it might be painful, it might be scary, it might be uncomfortable, whatever. If you just keep directly experiencing it and notice that you're experiencing it, it will fade and things will change. Anyway, that's all for now. Thanks.